extend warm welcome to the coach. Coach Desiree Ellis, welcome. And Rifioli Jane, welcome. Thank you. And before the opening floor, I have a question for you, coach. How do you feel about tomorrow, your crucial match?
Oh, it's on. Good afternoon, everyone. Look, it's not the place we want to be, but we've been given another opportunity, a very big opportunity to go on a very long journey. But we obviously have to bring our A game. There's no margin for error. The disappointment of losing the previous game is going to probably drive us to get a positive result. It's not going to be an easy game. The two big guns of African football, not where we want to be. And it's one of us not going further ahead than to qualify for the World Cup. So it's a big game for us tomorrow. We know how big it is. The players know how big it is. I'm sure Nigeria know how big it is. But we just have to do what we have to do. We just have to execute our plans and make sure that we're victorious at the end of the day.
Thank you. Flo, we know tomorrow. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Like Coach said, it will be a crucial match for the team. We came here with an objective to qualify for the World Cup, and we would have liked to qualify the first time, given the first opportunity, but things didn't go our way. But we keep our heads up high. We have another opportunity to do so. So our focus is on the next match and to try and give it our all, continue on this journey.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, this is Victor Ademola for AdemolaSport.com from Nigeria. Last year at the WAFCON here in Casablanca, this was the semi-final game. Now both teams are playing for a chance for the playoff. 3 of the semi-finalists at the last WAFCON also lost their quarter-final game. What does this say about the level of the women's game in Africa? And do you think we'll see more than 4 teams at the World Cup next year?
Look, we saw last year already how football has improved on the continent. No game is easy anymore. You underestimate a team at your own peril. And we've seen very good players from the African continent play at the best clubs in the world and not play at the WAFCON. And now you see all these players here. And I think everybody needs to start taking this tournament serious, because it's a big tournament, not just in Africa, but in the world. And the quality of football was excellent, and the pity the fans didn't come out to see such quality football. But I think the African continent can be proud of the football that's been played, but also proud of the players that they probably see on their televisions, but don't see them playing in these tournaments. And I think the tournament can only get bigger and better if given it the respect it deserves, if given the exposure it deserves. And if given the media coverage it deserves, because like any other continental tournament, all over the world it gets the respect, and I think it needs to get the respect aside as well.
Thank you, Coach. Please say a question. Microphone.
Good afternoon, my name is Lawrence, Multimedia Group Ghana. Defeat for you in the quarterfinal stage. What has the body language of the players been? How prepared are you mentally, physically for this clash against Nigeria? This question is to both of you.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Look, obviously disappointed. No two ways about it. I think we gave as good as they gave, and it could have gone either way. We had our chances that we could have done better in the game. They had the 2 opportunities that they executed a little bit more clinical than us. But the disappointment, obviously, but now we have to lift ourselves up. There's another game that's coming. There's another opportunity for us to go further in the qualification, and we have to grab that with both hands. Of course, disappointment is in the back of your mind, but you know that here you have another opportunity to go further in the qualification, to give yourself that opportunity still to go to the World Cup. And I think that is the next motivation for everyone in the team. To put the disappointment behind us, to continue with this, because it's now not the WAFCON anymore, it's now qualification for the World Cup.
Yeah, I share the same sentiments with the coach. Obviously, after the game, you get the results, and obviously you are disappointed. It's not what you wanted, it's not what you came here for. And to exit the tournament like that, it was painful. But now we have another opportunity to fight for a World Cup spot. So we have to dust ourselves off. We have to keep positive and give it our all. We can't just cry over spilled milk. We just have to keep on going until we get there.
Thank you. Please.
Good afternoon, Coach. This question is for both of you. Last edition of the WAFCON, this is Isimwa from Nigeria, I'm sorry. Last edition of the WAFCON, South Africa finished top 4, and now they are crashing out from the quarterfinal stage. Win or lose tomorrow, what lessons are you taking out from this tournament as a coach and as a player? Thank you.
I think, you come here with a plan, you come here with the objective, and I think if you look at all our matches, we didn't start well. We grew into the tournament, but the one thing that I think we can improve on is our final third. If you look at the Tanzania game, we probably could have, should have won it with all the opportunities we had. Similarly, in the second game, when we were 2-0 down, we started playing and could have won it at the end. And against Burkina Faso, we probably could have finished the game off earlier than what we did. The same with Morocco. When you look back, they had those 2 moments. We had a couple of moments. I think the goalkeeper made a fantastic save. So that's one area, obviously, that we will look at. And as we got into the tournament, we also got defensively better because we pride ourselves on being better, and we were not better in the earlier games of the tournament, and maybe we always pride ourselves on starting well, and we didn't start well, and that's put us on the back foot. And I think that's a big lesson to learn, to really go all out in the beginning, but also to take our opportunities to make sure, that we finish off games, to make sure that we control games better, because sometimes we didn't control the game as much as we wanted to. And I think that may be one of the reasons why we didn't get the results that we wanted to. But it's also, you're playing against opponents that have improved. You're playing against opponents that have come here also being better. And last year's tournament was similar, where teams started playing differently, pressed a bit higher, were a bit braver in that. So each and every tournament you come to, there's always different challenges that you have to face, and you prepare for challenges, but you can never prepare for everything. You just have to try to adapt during the tournament, and that's what we tried to adapt during the tournament. If you look at our game against Ivory Coast, the way we came back and fought. I think that's the one thing that we can also take out of this tournament is the resilience that this team has shown, that they don't give up, that they don't quit, and that's already been a mark of Banyana Banyana.
Well, on my end, from a player's perspective, is to never take things for granted. You come to such tournaments, you need to know that things are not going to give in to you on a silver platter. It doesn't matter who you are. Teams are getting better, players are getting better. For us is to go back and see what is it that we are not doing okay? What is it that we were doing that made us win previously? So for us is to reflect and be honest with ourselves and get better from there.
Thank you.
Not so good to see you in Casablanca. Sorry about that. To both of you, Coach, before you took over, the team, even as a player, Nigeria is a team that you can say bullied South Africa, but as a coach, you can go all the way to the Aisha Buhari Cup in Nigeria, that kind of success, the mental block of knowing that you can beat Nigeria. How important is that going to be in tomorrow's game? And for you, Refilwe, in generations past, no need to go into the details. Your generation is the one that, has shown that they can beat Nigeria. It's a 50-50 tomorrow. Just take us through that.
Look, I've said before, having done it in the past doesn't give you a divine right. I think reputations mean nothing. It's stepping onto that field and doing the job on the field right now, executing our plan, making the distances between, creating the opportunities, being defensively sound. That is what it's going to take, because what happened previously is not going to count in this one. This is the do or die match, and we just have to be on top of our game. But you're right, used to say that that mental block is not there. But it's two teams fighting for that one spot, so it's going to be a battle of wills, a battle of tactics, and who's the more hungrier, who takes their chances, who defends properly. It's going to take all of that for us to get over the line.
Well, there'll always be that rivalry between the two teams. It goes way back over the years, and we have shown as a team that we are capable. You know, we just have to believe, we just have to put in the work. And tomorrow's game, it's a do or die kind of match for us, for Nigeria. We've shown in the past we can do it. We've played Nigeria a couple of times to know each other in a way. So whatever that happens tomorrow, we just want to leave the field knowing that we've given our all. We've represented South Africa, and hopefully we come out victorious.
Thank you.
Also, I was going to ask, but the level of confidence, it's kind of so low now. I remember the last time Nigeria and South Africa were going to mates, that was 2022, right? That level of confidence was really high. Even the last WAFCON too, 2025. But going into this game, how confident are you that you can actually, pick that one slot for this play-in?
Oh. Look, it's not just about the confidence. It's about the magnitude of where we're at. And that brings the confidence, because you have to know that, as Rafael said, it's a do or die match. You have to know that you have to give everything on the day. There's no regrets afterwards. There's no saying, I should have, I could have. If you walk off that pitch, irrespective of what the result is, you know that you would have given your all, and that's what it's about, As I said, the disappointment of not going through automatically was there, but now we have to lift ourselves up and make sure that we're ready for this game. You cannot still think about what happened in the past, because that's not going to help you. You just have to be ready for this game, because you know what's at stake, and we can still reach our objective, and that was to qualify for the World Cup. We can still reach that by giving our all in this particular game.
Okay, coach has said everything. Yeah, it's I don't think it's a confidence thing. I think it's probably where we find ourselves. Maybe previously we were competing for something else, but now we find ourselves where we are. But other than that, we're still very mindful. We're still looking at the positives, and we're still keeping in mind that there's still a big thing to play for, and that's a World Cup spot. So for us, we are just keeping motivated and willing to go out there and give it all our all.
Thank you so much. So we check the last two questions, please.
In South Africa, while coach, it's always highly praised that we've seen teams like Malawi rather qualify for the World Cup. A lot of people believe that if maybe teams like Nigeria, South Africa, especially now in this WAFCON, would have integrated more youngsters or more fresh faces to the face, maybe that could have been different. But from what perspective do you see that? Do you think that maybe it's needed to actually inject new blood into the team to make sure that they compete at the highest level, still give us that competitive edge?
Look, there's something that you cannot buy, and that is experience. And I think if you look at the Morocco game, the experience that we had in the team really held us to good stead. Obviously, when you talk about younger players, we have Karabu, who's been in the team for a while. He's 25. We have other players that's been in the team for a while that are still young, early 20s. And that's a plus for us with all that experience that they have. It's a plus for us that they have that experience. And we of the opinion that we always blood in the new young players slowly, than to just throw them in. You throw them in, they have a bad game, the media turns the story around and says we should have protected them. So we've got to have that balance where we create opportunities for them in tournaments, we create opportunities for them in friendly matches to be able to, and sometimes you bring players with for experience. I remember Coach Hugo Bruce brought 2 young players with, and they never played. Chandra is now playing overseas, the same as Smith. And that's what we try to create as well, because we also look at the time where they're already. You can't just throw someone in for the sake of throwing someone in. Isabella's 23 as well, Ronaldo's 21, Lona Temba's 24. So we do have young players in our squad that we are blooding slowly when the time is right. People always look at people's ages and think that that's it. I think Noko played until the age of 39, and if I were to listen to people saying that, she's old, she must go, then where would we be now? You look at the experienced players that's in the team, they're still doing the job. And then football is a matter of opinions, and the one day the team wins and everybody's doing a great job, and the next minute the team loses, then it's there's too many old players in the team, and I believe and I have faith in each and every player I select. Otherwise, she wouldn't be sitting next to me. And I think back home and everywhere else, I think that people should respect that. First of all, these are human beings more than anything. Human beings, and we're not saying don't criticize. We're not saying because you are supporters, you are supporters, you support this team, and I don't think any individual goes onto the field to lose a match. You're playing against an opponent that has maybe been better than you on a day. And if you say that, you also said, but you also get told, but how did you plan? And sometimes that happens when the opponent is better than you on the day, or the opponent takes their chances on the day. But I just think we need to be mindful of the fact that people are human beings, and I think that is the biggest regret for me, that mentally, because it could be you, it could be you, it could be your sister, it could be your brother. How would you react if those things were said about you? So we have to be mindful of the fact that this is human beings, and yes, as you said, you use the word old, I use the word experience. For me, it's never about the age, whether you're 18, whether you're 19, or whether you're 30-something. It's never about the age, because experience can only mean something if it adds value. And for me, these senior players still add value because they have the experience. And we've done that in the past, where we've integrated players slowly. Now they've become the experienced players. So we take time in giving those young players an opportunity, bring them here, because you can explain what the WAFCON is about. You can explain what the World Cup is about, but until you go there to experience it. And I go back to the Men's World Cup in 1994. Who was sitting on the floor? Not ready to play, but was sitting on the floor, was the great Ronaldo. And then what happened after that? You went and became the best player in the world. So we also have to be very careful how we integrate players. We have to be very careful when we bring them in, because you can break them before that, and then you get told that you just threw them at the wolves.
Thank you, Coach. Last question, please, quickly.
Everyone can say whatever they want to say, but 155 times you would have represented your country. Can you? I think that's confirmation. I think that's confirmation, of a long journey. But can you take us through what you think could have been your best moment, at the WAFCON, and in the context of tomorrow's game, what it would mean for you to step out there, knowing that you're one of only 13 South African players to represent your country more than 100 times?
And one of 5 to go over 150.
I think I need to tell that to my teammates so that we can win. It's not easy to be at this point, to get to this point. Like previously we spoke about the 150 caps. I'll still say the same thing. It takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of courage, discipline. It takes a lot of determination and the respect for the things that you do, the respect for people that you work with, and being humble also, Arrogance is not going to take you anywhere. Believing that you have arrived is not going to take you anywhere. Putting in the work is what matters. And I don't look at the stats and look at the numbers until someone brings it up. So I'm humbled to if I get to play tomorrow, to reach 155. I hope coach is listening. But then, but other than that, I'm really grateful and I'm very blessed to be where I am today. It's something that I don't take it lightly. It's not something that I take for granted. A lot of people would die to be sitting where I am. But for that, it's something that I don't take lightly.
I just wanted to add to my previous answer. When the team isn't doing well, then there's a lot, and I don't want to sound arrogant in any way. Don't take it like that. When the team does well, then none of these things or these questions come up. The minute the team doesn't do well, then it's the players are the coach is this one is this, that one is that. So we got to look at it both ways, and we got to be respectful. Yes, there's criticism, and you can take that criticism. And as I said, they're human beings, but we've got to look at each game on its merits, and we've got to give messages on each game on its merits, because if we were now playing the semi-finals today, what would people have said about the team? And I'll leave it there.
Thank you so much, Coach Desiree Ellis. Thank you, Jane, for your comment.